Hey guys, Nthefastlane here. In this video, we're going to be changing out a radiator on a 2003 Cadillac CTS. Now this will work with the 2003 model and the 2004 and very possibly other models as well. Special thanks to Buy Auto Parts for sending out this radiator. If you need to purchase the items in this video, you can always purchase them underneath my video. It'll say shop this video. I always pin it to the top YouTube comments. If you're on my website, it'll say shop this video underneath the video. There's the radiator. We'll go ahead and cut it open real quick. Alright, let's see what we got in here. It's nicely packaged. I like how they put cardboard and stuff in there so it doesn't get bent up on the fins. Yep, no bent fins. Looks really good. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the coolant reservoir cap. Set that aside. Next we're going to get a pan, slide it under the vehicle so we can drain the antifreeze out of the system. Now with this radiator, it doesn't have a screw on the bottom of it that you can undo and the coolant will come out. So we have to manually kind of take the coolant out of the system. So we're going to start by this lower hose right here. We're going to remove this lower hose down at the bottom, take the clamp off, and let it drain into the pan. So if you're underneath the vehicle, this is the passenger side. Right there, we're going to take that hose clamp off. That is either a flathead screwdriver or a 5/16. Go ahead and take that off and make sure you have your pan right under here. We're going to slide it under and let all the fluid drain into the pan. Once you've got the hose clamp completely loosed and maybe even the bottom hose cracked a little bit to where you can wiggle it back and forth, I would suggest just putting the pan all the way under there and then coming up on top. Once you're on top, go ahead and grab the hose from here all the way down at the bottom and just wiggle it till it comes off. Then you won't get any coolant all over you, because that stuff, if you guys don't know, when you get antifreeze all over you, it causes your skin to break out if you don't get it off. We got it draining. We'll just let that drain for a little while, and then we'll begin to remove the radiator. Now on to the next step. We're going to actually remove this intake box and disconnect the intake rubber hose right here. What we'll do real quick is we'll go ahead and pull this flap off. It has little connectors right here on this bracket, so you just kind of pull that off. Set that aside. Looks like 3 10mm. Alright, set those aside. I always like to take my bolts, stick them up in the windshield wiper tray area. Alright, so that's loose. Alright, next we are going to take off this intake pipe right here. And it's either a 7mm or a flathead screwdriver. And we're just going to take that off. Once we have that circle clamp taken off, go ahead and remove this plug right here. And it looks like you just pull straight up. There should be little clips on the side. Pull straight up. Set that aside. And now we'll move this forward and lift up. It should come out. You have a little hose right here. Make sure you take it out of the track. So forward, up, and out. Next up, we have this 5/16 or flathead, but I'm going to go ahead and remove these clamps real quick. You might want to be careful with this because it breaks easy, but I'm going to go ahead and replace it later after the video, not right now. I didn't order one. See how brittle that was? It's already done. This is the HVAC heater valve. Common problem, they break, they're real brittle. They should be made out of aluminum, but you know how GM is. They're not going to invest extra money in something they don't have to. Alright, just stick these hoses kind of back so that they don't keep shooting out. Next, we're going to go ahead and take these 4 10mm out. Now we're just going to take these brackets and set these aside. We're going to have to reuse these. Next we have two more 10s, one here and here. This is where a swivel socket or just a wrench itself comes in handy, where you can get a little bit of swivel action. Allow it to square up with the bolt. Lastly, we're just going to go ahead and remove this line. Set that aside. And then this line right here. This hose. 5/16 or flathead. You just want to give it a turn and then pull it off and set that aside. Kind of bend it back. You're going to get a little bit more drippage once you move that hose back, so just let the rest of it run out. I'm going to give you a quick rundown where these plugs are. On the driver's side, the plug is right there. We're going to take that plug out right there. Go ahead and unplug that. Pretty much I think you just push on the back over here, you push on the back side and pull out. So that's that one. And then if we come on this side, now we're on the passenger side, and if you look right here, this blue one with the blue clip, it's pretty much visually explanatory. You could just look, you just pull up on that clip and pull out. On this one right here for the condenser fan, you're gonna push in and pull out. All the clips are unplugged, and we just have one more vacuum line. Just go ahead and pull this one right here. For the transmission lines, we have a 7mm or Phillips or flathead. Go ahead and remove that hose clamp. And if you come over here, you can see this other hydraulic line. This one is a 5/8. Go ahead and remove that nut right there. And no, you will not have to change out your transmission fluid or add to it. It should barely drip anything, if at all. We're on the last few threads. Alright, and then you just pull out. And as you can see, we're not dripping anything. Just make sure to keep it elevated so we don't spill anything out. Alright, we actually have two more 10s on the condenser that bolts to the radiator. So we got one 10 there, and then if you look on the other side right here, there's another 10 right there. So go ahead and take these two 10s out. It's underneath the bumper, and then you'll be able to remove the radiator. Now a quick tip, when you're backing these out, they have another nut on the back side, and that nut is right here. Get a flathead and shove it in there on the side that it's spinning, and then take it off, or else this nut will just keep spinning around there and you'll never get the bolt out. Now all we have to do is just lift straight up. Should come right out. And we might have a little bit of coolant in there. We'll just keep it tilted back. And that's it. Now the next step, we're just going to take this condenser and radiator fan out of here. And we got a 10 here, and there's another 10 right here on the back side. We'll take this heater core element off and we'll put it on there as well. So just go ahead and remove this. We got one more right here, another 10. And now we just lift up and the back slides out. So we're just going to take this and slide it into the new one. Now we have the new radiator on the counter, and we're going to take these feet right here and we're going to put them right here and here without touching the fins on the radiator. So just carefully slide them in. Just like that. Lay it down and just line the holes up. Then we take our 10s and put our 10mm back in the same spot. Let's go ahead and get them good hand tight. No need to torque them down really hard. You don't want to break the plastic. Now I'm not going to be reusing this valve, but for the video's sake, you just pretty much stick it down like this pipe, and then you put this little clip right here. You just shove it in like that and then put the 10 in there and you're good to go. Now in order to put on this high pressure line right here, you're not going to take this off. Just make sure this is tight and the other one on the other side. And there's a little clip in here, this little black clip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take these special tools. There's a tool just like this. It's made by Lyle. And this one is the 3/8 version. and you can see it has a little step to it. So we open it up, put it on the line, slide down, and then this goes in there and pushes that ring out, and then we can take the original one off of the vehicle and just a quick connect. Now this tool right here comes with two of them. It comes with a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to put these, it'll be in the shopping cart. You'll be able to purchase these. You won't have to search for them. Just go to my store. What you want to do is you want to open the line, or open this clip. You're going to slide it over the line just like that, and then you're going to pull forward as you push back on this piece. So let me see if I can do it. Push back and push forward, and then once you get this clip, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get this tool inside there so it can spread that plastic piece out. So let me see if I can't do this. We're gonna push it back. You want to push this piece back, slide this clip in there, alright, I got one in. There we go. Okay, so you can see what happens here. Basically, there's a little C-clip right here. Look, you got a little indentation. It's a little lip, and inside here, there's a plastic piece that you have to shove that tool in so you can kind of spread the plastic piece up over this clip. It's just like AC lines, but the AC tools, which I have a pack of those. This is what the AC tools look like. They come in different colors. They're little plastic, or you can get the metal scissor ones, and those don't work. It has to be the not power steering. It has to be the oil pressure line or the transmission line tools. They're different. Now that we have this off, just leave this just like this, and as soon as we put the radiator in, all we're gonna have to do is just plug it in until we hear it click, and that's it. And then for the other hose, all we do is slide that over and tighten it with the little C-clamp. Now once you put the radiator in, you can see these two holes right here and over there. The radiator actually comes with new boots, so you just line those up, drop it down in there, and then you start putting the brackets on and all the 10 millimeters, and it's pretty much it. So right before you put it in, just make sure that this is tightened down, because this is a little loose, just so you can adjust where it needs to be. So go ahead and get it to the position that you need and tighten it down real good. And then we're pretty much ready to just drop the whole radiator with the fan setup in. Alright, we're ready to set it in. And basically you're just going to go straight up and drop it straight down into those two holes that we have there. You're just going to line up those grommets. And that's it. Now the next step is going to be, you're going to want to grab the condenser, the AC condenser, and you're just going to lift up, put the bolt in there, get that lined up, put those bolts in there, just make sure everything's out of the way, just like that. Once you got the two condenser 10 millimeter bolts in there, the brackets, you're just going to put these brackets on, one here and one over here. Put your two 10s in there. Then after that, we'll just be taking the radiator hose right here, slipping that on. Then you have your other line right here that goes there. For the other side, right now I don't have the HVAC system on there, the valve, because I got to get another one. But these two lines will just go right there. Don't forget your little vacuum line on the HVAC that just plugs in right here. You got your two. You got your plug right here for the HVAC and your fan. Don't forget the plug for the condenser and the radiator fan. We also have another plug right here that goes on the other side. So if you're hooking up your HVAC valve, just goes like this, and I showed you earlier, this little fitting right here just slides right in here. So it'll just sit like this, then these two lines go here and here, and then this vacuum goes on top. So that's pretty much it for that. Now as for underneath the vehicle, you just take the bottom hose You're just going to put that on there, put it tight, and then go ahead and tighten down the hose clamp. And for this hydraulic line, all you do is put it in there and push forward all the way until it locks in. I'm not going to do this because I'm actually going to pull this radiator back out because I have water pump, serpentine belt, and timing to do in the next following videos. Also, for the other line, if you can see right here, you're just going to slide this over this nipple right here, all the way back. Take your hose clamp, slide it forward, and go ahead and tighten it. And that's pretty much it. The last couple of steps would be to put the air box back in. It's just those 3 10 millimeters, and then put this hose on it, and make sure to plug in your mass airflow sensor. It's pretty much that simple. As for filling this up with antifreeze, what you're going to do is you're going to get a 50-50 mix. Fill this up all the way till it gets to the top. Start the vehicle. Let the vehicle run. That's with all the lines, you know, tightened up and everything. Let the vehicle run for about, I'd say, 15 to 20 minutes. That thermostat's eventually going to open up and the levels are going to drop. Now, you don't have to burp this system because it has this reservoir right here. This will automatically burp all the air out of the system, which is nice, where some Hondas don't have that. They just have an overflow bottle, but this one always has fluid in it. So go ahead and run it for 15-20 minutes and keep adding it. Leave the cap off and just add it as you need it. Now, the level you need to be at, it says full when cold. So it's obviously going to be cold. Just a first time start with the cap off. You're going to want to hit that line right there. So fill it up to there. Let it drop. When it drops, just keep filling it and keep it at that line. Even when it's running, after about 20 minutes, you can go ahead and put the cap back on.